right here at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta. Igor Larionov skates to center ice against the great Gretzky. And it's underway. Gretzky winning the draw. Into the Soviet zone. Puck is left there by Hunter. And now Coffey back in the Edmonton zone. Across to Coffey again. Passing to an open wing. Gretzky digs against Fettisov for it. Mishkin has to steer it aside. Gretzky almost came up with the puck. And then Alexei Kasatonov for the Soviets works it up to center ice. That's how they break so quickly. 2-on-1 now. Closing in. Here's Maltsev, and the glove save by Andy Moog.
Maltsev's fast shot. Andy Moog is tested early in the hockey game. A 2-on-1 break. The Edmonton Oilers caught up the ice. As we look at the shot, number 10 as he rips it away to the left side.
Maltsev did not have the best angle. He was squeezed off to the right, didn't have much net to shoot at, but nonetheless a dangerous break for a veteran like Maltsev, who at 33 is the senior member of this Soviet national team. Soviets change. Shepelev now on the face-off. The Oilers change. It'll be Messier moving in for this one, and he wins the draw. Traditionally, the Soviets, if they have a weakness, it is on face-offs, although they have improved in recent years. Don Jackson in the corner, the Edmonton defense player trying to work it free up to Messier. The Soviets detaining it in there now. The shot is high, gloved by Moog anyway. He fans on it in behind. Here is Shepelev trying to center it out. He cannot make a play. Jackson works it up the boards, but the Soviets, with good, persistent forechecking, keep that puck in play in the Edmonton zone. It is shot down the ice, will not go for icing, as Vasily Pervukin has it for the Soviet Union. Ahead to Kapustin, one of the Soviet veterans, number 8. Right side, the relay coming back. 3 passes on the play and a weak deflected shot rolling past Moog. Here is Messier for the Oilers. Into Soviet territory, the pass, the shot deflected into the crowd off the stick of Vladimir Mishkin, who will tell you again is playing for the ailing Vladislav Tretiak. And this is the NHL Soviet Series 83. From the face-off, it comes back over the Soviet blue line. This is Kevin Lowe, the veteran Oiler defenseman, playing it on the right side at the line. Inside they go. From a sharp angle, Lindsdmän could not get a good shot away, and the Russians bring it back out to center line. Lowe again, pops it right back to Lindsdmän. 2 Soviet players on him. Now Gary Lariviere playing for the ailing Lee Fogelin. Keeps it into the corner. Good body check in behind the Soviet net on Gimayev. The Russian to the Edmonton line. The shot is blocked by Lariviere. Then poked back to the blue line. Brought in offside by number 27, Bykov.
Joey Watson, you see any patterns?
Yeah, I noticed that the Russian defense, they pinch very deeply, and I think that going back to 1976 when we played them, they weren't pinching that well, than I remember, but they certainly are now. There's Glenn Slater, the Oilers coach.
You saw that hit that Lindsdmän threw in the Soviet player Gimayev. Oilers right on top of that puck, dribbling it down near Michigan's doorstep. But Fettisov, perhaps the best Soviet defenseman, clears it very nimbly. In they come on Moog, a weak shot he handles easily. Back for Fettisov, who sails in from the point, then lost control, and it's poked back to center by Pouzar of Edmonton. The Soviets just keep on coming. Squeezed off on the boards with Skvortsov. Around to the far side it comes, now in behind. Oiler player missed the check in there as Fettisov, the defense player, is right behind the Edmonton goal. They jam for it now, trying to force the face-off. NHL players, of course, feel they can win those face-offs against the Soviets. They don't mind giving them up in their own zone. Pass too far at center ice for Pouzar. Pouzar gets a chance down in the left corner. Skates in there against Fettisov as they bump for it. Pouzar gets a stick on it, but coming up with it for the Soviets is Zlutkov. And Zlutkov out at center ice sends Skvortsov away. 1-on-2, he drops it back. Still no shot. Very tight defensive coverage by the Oilers. And on that occasion, it was shot out by Dave Lumley. One more time, the Soviets inside the Edmonton line. No great shots on goal either way so far. They do jam that one and tie it up for a face-off. The NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in a moment. No score, about 3.5 minutes gone here in the first period. The Soviets' top line, centered by Igor Larionov on the ice now. Lindsdmän wins the draw easily. And saw him dig it back into his own corner. Now the Oilers break fast to center ice. The pass hopped over Lindsdmän's stick. Little Letdinov, the Soviet Union, he can't clear it out. Pass across to Dave Hunter. Back to the right point. Still inside the Soviet zone. Lindsdmän feeds it there. The shot, a good save by Mishkin. The backup Soviet goalie, the best chance for the Oilers so far today. Krutov skates hard into the board. Dumped in there by number 29, Don Jackson, and there's no further play. In fact, there's going to be the first penalty of the game, called by referee Andy Van Helleman.
Krutov going into the corner, Don, as we watch him through the center ice area. There's Jackson playing him fine there, but he went too far to his left. Jackson from behind pulls the feet out from underneath him into the boards heavily. Number 9, Krutov. Jackson, a tripping penalty, give the Soviet Union the first power play of the hockey game.
Penalty at the 4:06 mark of this first period. It's a scoreless game at the Northlands Coliseum. And the awesome Soviet power play goes into effect for the first time. Messier on the face-off for Edmonton. Larionov got the draw. Rolls to the corner, but promptly for the Oilers, here comes Mark Messier out to center ice. Left side for Lindsdmän. Lindsdmän closing in, drops it back for Messier. Shoots and it's wide of the goal. A good chance, short-handed there for Edmonton. Here come the Soviets. Larionov across to the veteran Maltsev. Maltsev can't get around Kevin Lowe. He shoots it off to the left boards, but held it on the point for the Soviets. Krutov, number 9, for Maltsev. Back for Maltsev. The Soviets take all kinds of time. Wait for the perfect play. Maltsev skates to the face-off circle. Back on that point once again. The slap shot blocked by Mold. From the stick of Kazatana. Cleared near the blue line. And finally out to center ice. Off one of the linesmen by the Edmonton Oilers. Still have a minute to go in the Oilers penalty to Jackson for triple. It is shot down behind the Soviet goal as the Oilers change on the move. Kazatana for Larionov. Again, this play forming slowly. The Soviets would prefer to take it back unless they have the ideal situation. Give up ice rather than have an improper play start for them. Now they have it going their way they feel. At the blue line. Skating inside. Digging it back on the point to the right side now. Here is the slap shot. Deflection missed by number 8, Kапustin. Still inside that zone for Vasiliev. Now back to Gimаев. Gimаев deflected shot. Lazily drifts over top of the Edmonton goal. And Paul Coffey fails to clear. Sergei Kапustin back on the left point. Here's Fetisov's weak pass going nowhere. It's dug back for Gimаев. Fetisov again. Into the slot. The shot bounds up into the crowd. With just 4 seconds to go in the Oilers penalty.
Good penalty killing by the Edmonton Oilers. Jackson about ready to come out of the penalty box. 4 seconds remain in his tripping penalty.
I can see Fetisov is certainly the quarterback of their power play. Everything seems to revolve around him back at the point. He makes a lot of good plays.
And what I made too, I think, is worth noting again. They will back up if they have to get that play. They go all the way behind their own net and take all the time in the world.
Right. I think they try to work a 3-2. You know, that's what they try to do.
They want the edge on you, right? No score. 4 seconds, Ed Westfall told you, left in Jackson's penalty. The Oilers have all but killed it. Soviets still have the puck at the blue line. Finally, it hops up. Oilers back at full strength now. Anderson hops on as Jackson skates right to the Edmonton bench. Soviets being backed up once again. Now they come forward, haltingly at the Edmonton blue line. Lariviere has the pass picked up by his stick over to Lowe. The relay around the boards. Messier feeds it back for Kevin Lowe. To Messier with Lindsdmän and Anderson. Inside they go. Anderson shoots. Vasiliev for the Soviets. Dumps it out in front dangerously. It is shot just beside the face-off circle. Finally cleared back by the Soviets into center ice. Gretzky steps back on the ice. Circling there, flips it down the left boards for Anderson to chase in against Gimaya. Fomenko could not get his pass away as he fell. And now at center ice, it is the Soviet Union's Vasilyev coming in. Works the right corner, swings around the net. Finally dumps it back to the point. The slap shot is a mile wide from Bilялетдинов. In behind the goal, number 21 is Randy Gregg. Soviets, good containment there, keeping it inside, rolling it in front. Gregg now gets a chance to clear, and they do. Right side for Gretzky at center. Fomenko. Mishkin gets his stick on it, pokes it away from him to Gretzky. And Gretzky's pass is too far. Here's a breakdown. Breakaway for the Soviets. In they go. Number 29 got him cleanly. Kojevnikov right on top of Andy Moe. Gretzky's shot is just wide off that left post. Kept in by Jari Kurri. A great chance there, and not enough wood on that shot by Kurri. Bilялетдинов for the Soviet Union. His pass too far ahead at center. Pouzar now for Edmonton, the Czechoslovakian player. Has to leave it there. Oilers gaining momentum as the game goes on. A hard ride stopped by Mishkin from the stick of Randy Gregg, the defenseman. Down goes the Soviet player. Under Pouzar in the corner, and that also drifts just wide. They approach the 9-minute mark in a scoreless first period here. And it's whistled down on the outside at the blue line of the Edmonton Oilers. This is the NHL Soviet Series. Don Chevrier, Eddie Westfall, Joe Watson, Bernie Pascal, and Lou Nanny back with you at the Northlands Coliseum. Game one of the NHL Soviet Series is scoreless here into period number one. Approaching the midway mark. Paul Coffey for the Oilers. Could not make his play. It is shot off an Oiler player, Coffey, all the way down the ice. But they are going to call icing nonetheless as Charlie Huddy's back to pick it up.
The best scoring opportunity of the hockey game so far. The Russians on a breakaway. Good try. What a save. Let's take a look. Edmonton caught napping. They're in pursuit. Kojevnikov all alone on Andy Moog, and Moog robs them. Good opportunity, good stop, and Edmonton has had quite a lift off the save by their goaltender.
Indeed they have. Kasatonov for the Soviet Union gave the puck away. Here's a shot wide and high by Dave Hunter. Great scoring chance there for the Oilers. Deflection in front. Lindsman can't poke it in. Fetisov now, the anchor of that defense, gets it across to Kasatonov. Still inside the Russian zone. Finally, it clears to center ice for them. But the Soviets under extreme pressure there. Bumping on the boards. They'll tie it up for a face-off at the Soviet bench with 10:36 to play in period number one. NHL Soviet Series 83.
Good opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers after Moog had made a good stop off Kojevnikov. Look at the penalty. Wow. Hunter with a high stick on number 11, Larinov. No call.
Play underway again with Kevin Lowe shooting it in. Digs after it inside the Soviet zone. In behind the net. It's jumped right out in front. Hops over two Oiler sticks. Now the Soviets get a 2-on-1 break. Here is Shalimov shooting. Blocked smartly by the defenseman Lariviere, sliding to block the drive. Gimaya grips it in. That is blocked by number 20, Lumley. So a lot of sliding defensive Oiler players making some big plays right there on that series. And icing is called against the Oilers. 10 minutes and 6 seconds to go in the first period. And here's the story on Pouzar. Of course, from Czechoslovakia. He has played the Soviets many times before in his first season with Edmonton in the National Hockey League.
10 years on the Czech national team. Jaroslav Pouzar. He's a rugged player. He loves to play it tough. A lot of the Europeans not get into the rugged part of the game in North America. Pouzar is not one of them.
It is Shepelev on the faceoff for the Soviet Union. Now they'll bring on Messier for Edmonton. Hatshide waved out of there. The The Oilers coming on toward the middle part of this period, which now has reached the halfway point. It is scoreless. The Soviets nothing, the Edmonton Oilers nothing. Mark Messier, left wing, dumps it all the way across to the right side. Anderson lets it go there for Habscheid. Then Anderson tries to pick it up in the corner, battling there against the Soviets' Babinov. Finally around behind the goal, a chance to put it in front. They miss. Jackson trying to contain on the point, flips it over the boards for a face-off.
Some of good opportunities by the Soviets. Joey Watson on the... Take a look now at some of the action. Good block by
Gary Lariviere certainly made a fine play there in that 2-on-1 by the Soviets there. He gave him the area and then he took it away from him, and he certainly played it very well.
You saw Shepelef holding the Edmonton player's stick on that exchange. Right in front. Here's the shot. The Oilers take the lead. Anderson getting his stick on it. Out in front and just getting it across the goal line behind Michigan.
Right from the face-off. Glenn Anderson halfway through the first period, since Andy Vogue had stopped the breakaway by Kochenikov. Edmonton has been coming on strong. Let's look at the goal being set up. Pass out in front by Messier, and Anderson finishes it off, and it's in behind Michigan, 1-0, Edmonton.
And number 21, Randy Gregg.
Messier and Randy Gregg get the assist, and here comes Messier again inside the Russian zone, but Fetisov is there to break that up. He sends Lutkov inside the Edmonton blue line. Chance to the right side, right in front. The pass from Skvortsov. There's nobody home. Now Gregg bumping in the corner. Habscheid can't get it. Rolls in front of the goal again, and on the left side it is Messier. Messier sending Gregg away. The relay on the right side to Anderson inside the Soviet line. Messier just not there quite in time. That relay in front of the Soviet goal. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first period. The long shot, Moe kicks 10 rows high here at the Northlands Coliseum. Face-off coming up. 8 minutes and 44 seconds to go in period one. NHL Soviet Series 83. We await the face-off in the Edmonton zone. The Oilers on Glenn Anderson's goal at 10:28 have taken a 1-goal lead over the Soviets. Larionov on the draw against Ken Lindsdmän. It is left in the circle for the Soviets. The weak pass picked up by Paul Coffey, who shoots it promptly out to center ice. The relay down right on Michigan, who gloves it. Skates back into his crease to force a stoppage in play.
So many times you wonder whether a good save really makes that much difference. Michigan has been fairly sharp for the Soviets.
Well, he was pressed in late because of the blue bug picked up by Tretiak, the man you'd normally see in that position.
I'd have to wonder a little about that, John. I saw him this morning. I saw him again in the warm-ups, and he, as I mentioned before, he didn't seem to be bothered. Didn't seem to not take anything. Took his regular shift.
Pat Hughes couldn't keep it in. Coffey has trouble in center ice. The Soviets' Maltsev finally backhands it down and then takes a belt on the boards from Hughes. Rolling dangerously in front, but Lindsdman's there for the Oilers. Somenko across to Coffey. Coffey inside the line. Coffey shoots. Michigan steers out of side. Alexander Maltsev. Long lead pass trying to give Krutov the break at center ice. Instead, a wicked slap shot from number 22 of the Oilers, Charlie Huddy. Too far for Maltsev. Curry clears it back. Now Coffey has it. And the Oilers, Soviet style, go behind their net to make some player changes and gather up some momentum. Gretzky on the ice. Feeds it in the slot. No chance of a play there for Jari Kurri. Kevin Lowe with Lariviere back on defense. It is shot to the line for Gretzky, 2-on-1. Gretzky's pass, and just wide of the goal went Dave Somenko. Went a bit too far. But a pretty play set up by Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky overskates it this time. Babinov beating it up the boards for the Soviets. 7:15 to play in the first period. 1-0 Edmonton. Larionov. Here's a chance. Hold, stop one, blocks the rebound, and it's finally a whistle down play as Lariviere falls on it right in front of the Oiler goal. A close call for the Soviets. This is the NHL Soviet Series 83.
When you're feeling
Larionov, Igor Larionov, Central Army, started the play through center ice. Forces the Edmonton defense back in. Look at the passing here by the Soviets. Over to number 9, Krutov. There's the shot by number 23, Shalimov. Fine passing by the Soviets.
2 fine saves by Moog on that series. Now for the Oilers. It is Curry chasing it down to the right Soviet corner. Semenko overskates it there. And the red shirts of the Soviet Union have it again. Here is Shalimov. Hitting it across to Kapustin. He could not drop it back on the point. Intercepted there by Semenko and chopped up to center ice for Edmonton. Viktor Shalimov for Kapustin again at center. The Russians shooting it in far more than we've seen previously. Wayne-Gretzky leaves it there for Hunter. Back to Yari Curry. And finally, Jackson now, as the Oilers appear disorganized, inside his zone. Pouzar's on the ice for Edmonton. 6:10 left in this first period. 1-0 Oilers. A play in behind the Soviet net. A bouncing puck there. They all jam away at it. Comes free in the corner for Pouzar. For Gretzky in behind. The great playmaker Gretzky gets it back on the point. The wrist shot is blocked and screened by Mishkin. Here's Jackson. Jackson to an open corner. Dug in behind the goal once again for Gretzky as they poke away at it in there. The Soviets trying to freeze the puck. Finally, it is Vasilyev with it, getting it out over his own blue line. Yaroslav Pouzar, the Czech player in his first season with Edmonton, gets it ahead of center ice. Good body check by Lumley on Fetisov, and it's whistled down across the Edmonton blue line on the offside. Alexei Kasatonov plays for the Red Army, just 23. 25 national team games for the Soviet Union squad.
One of the bigger players at 6 foot. Not that many 6-foot players on the Soviet team. We've seen larger or taller and heavier Soviet teams.
But not necessarily faster, because speed has become their trademark, although not in abundant evidence tonight. The Oilers certainly skating with them and skating well. Here's Pouzar getting it ahead across the blue line. Number 14, Laurie Boschman, the former Toronto Maple Leaf, on the ice for the first time, could not control it. He's against Fetisov now. Calmly, Fetisov digs it across the left side. Inside the line they go. There's a shot wide of the net by Skvortsov. Back it comes down to the Soviet zone. Icing waved off on the play. 4 minutes and 48 seconds to go in period 1. Edmonton on Anderson's goal at the midway mark leads it 1-0. Soviets again caught on the offside over the Edmonton blue line. And this is the NHL Soviet Series 83.
On behalf of everyone at Canadian Tire, we bring you this special holiday greeting. Ready, Ebenezer? You can do it. Mary. Ebenezer, you promised. Mary. Come on.
Merry Christmas.
What?
Merry Christmas and a happy holiday.
Now, didn't that make you feel good?
Well, maybe.
Some good chances as we look at the score. Oilers won on a goal by Anderson.
4:40 remaining in the first period. Babinov back for Gimаев. Now Babinov again is the Soviets back up in their own zone. Number 12, Gimаев. They work it out to center ice. This is Larionov. He's always dangerous. Checked by 2 Oilers there. They still keep it in. Now finally a break for Edmonton. Here is Pat Hughes to Hunter, but offside was Lindsdmän on the right wing. It's whistled down with 4:13 to go in the period. Ken Lindsdmän, his 5th season in the National Hockey League.
Joey, what can you tell us?
Joey in Philadelphia.
I'll tell you, Kenny's a fine player, and he certainly is going to be a big asset to the Edmonton Oilers. Like throughout the season and also in this game tonight. He's got a lot of speed, which you have to have against the Russians, and he's an instigator. He's going to cause you a lot of problems, and he has in the first period. He's caused the Russians numerous problems.
Joe Watson and Ed Westfall with me here in the booth. You'll be hearing from Lou Nanne, our analyst between periods, with Bernie Pascal. As this first period is drawing to a close, just over 4 minutes to go, and the Oilers on top by a single goal. That's scored by Anderson at 10:28. But the Soviets being pinned in more now and contained to their half of center ice more consistently this half of the period by the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, Coffey, the defenseman, has it, number 7. Lobs it down to the right corner. Comes around to the opposite side as they bump along the boards for possession. Messier coming up with it, and it's thrown away by Gamayev. Lowe keeps it in. His shot blocked off the leg of an Edmonton player. The Soviets love that fast break at center, but the Oiler defensemen were both well back in time. Another chance for the Soviets now. Larionov in behind the net. Passed in front by Krutov. Nobody there. So the Soviets getting their break, but only sending one man forward, not 2 or 3 as we've seen in previous years. Anderson makes the check on the board. There's half side in for Messier. Loose puck still in front of the goal. Mishkin can't find it. It's finally shot to the point for the Louvière. His drive blocked by Mishkin. 2 great chances there. Delayed Soviet penalty in effect. And finally called by referee Andy Van Hellemond.
A holding penalty to the Soviet Union gives Edmonton their first power play of the hockey game. Exactly 17 minutes gone here in the first period. To the penalty box. Pervukin, Red Army defenseman, 29 years old, draws the first penalty from Andy Van Hellemond, the first penalty to the Soviet Union. Let's take a look at the holding penalty. We try to pick it up. Messier, number 11, heads for the front of the net. Good play by Messier on a backhand. Right here, the holding penalty. As you see them reach out, number 5 hangs on to Messier. Andy Van Hellemond with his arm in the air, signaling the penalty.
Vasily Pervukin for holding at 17 minutes. So for 2 of the 3, barring further infractions or a goal, the Oilers will have some heat conceivably going on the Soviet Union here. Previously, the one Edmonton penalty did not result in many dangerous chances for the Soviets, who trail 1-0 in the hockey game. Gretzky is on the point for the power play. Digs it off in the right circle relay, but Gretzky shoots, hits the goal post, far side. Great scoring chance for number 99 there. Here's Huddy. Anderson, his relay, blocked by Fetisov, but Coffey's there to contain it. Anderson for Messier. Loose puck picked up by the Soviets. Fetisov calmly gets it ahead and down the ice. 1:25 left. It's Pervukin's penalty as the Oilers form up once again with Wayne Gretzky across to Coffey. Coffey shoots it in. Gretzky after it. Mishkin way out. Falls on it once. Covers it up finally. A good 7-8 feet out of his crease.
Vladimir Mishkin out. He wants to hold the puck. He's afraid to do it. Andy Van Hellemond, you see here now, telling him, can't do that. You've got to release the puck.
I think he knew it too when he took his hand off it, then put it back on.
He was waiting for one of the Edmonton Oilers to get close.
By Gretzky earlier.
Anderson fights in front of the net. Gretzky comes in. Watch the lower right-hand side, the goalpost. Gretzky unleashes the shot right off the goalpost. Clearly, he had Vladimir Mishkin, the goaltender for the Soviets, beaten.
So the Oiler lead is still 1 with 1:16 left in Pervukin's penalty for holding. Kasatonov fires it all the way down. Moog stops it beside his goal for Gretzky. A minute left in the penalty and 2 minutes remain in this first period. Here's Gretzky in for Huddy. Huddy left side, dumps it in front. Loose puck in there, they jam away. Mishkin down on his knees to block it.
Well, there we have Kenny Lindsdmän in there. By gosh, you're always going to find Kenny around a big pile-up, and he went to the net very well there on a pass from, I believe it was, here we are at the replay here by Huddy. Charlie Huddy made a fine pass over, and Kenny Lindsdmän, as you see, is right in front of the net.
Got the backhand shot away. Forced Mishkin to make the save again. Edmonton has been coming on strong as the game gets older.
Indeed they have at Westfall, as now Lindsdmän on the draw wins it. This is Coffey over on the far side, digs it back for Gretzky on the point. Gretzky waiting across to Huddy. Huddy down beside the net. Right back to Gretzky, trying to set him up too far back. Gretzky has to make a desperate play to keep it in. Rolling it in behind the net for Babinov. Coffey cannot contain it. Comes all the way back. A foot race now. Coffee getting there to tie up the Soviet player coming on to the puck. He brings it back for Edmonton. 25 seconds and the Soviet penalty remains. Nice stick handling by Coffee, who fed it back, but it was blocked for the Soviets and shot all the way back down the ice. 15 seconds now on the Soviet penalty. Just over a minute of playing time in the period. Here's Kevin Lowe getting an opening left side, booms it off the glass in behind. Yari Curry. Down for Laurie Boschman. Oilers changing on this long power play. Penalty is now over. Chance to side of the goal, and Michigan is there as the Oiler player just banned on it.
Wayne Gretzky, what an opportunity. Opportunities he usually does not miss. Standing all alone to the left of Vladimir Mishkin, goaltender of the Soviet Union. As we take a look at the play, Boschman across. Look at that good opportunity missed by number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
If you notice in the power play, Edmonton is really spreading the play out and making the Soviets skate a lot, and I think that's going to be beneficial to them.
I think, too, they are maybe hurrying their play a little more than the Soviets did when they had the one power play advantage. Then, of course, that is more of the Oilers' style. Pouzar is moving into the faceoff.
I was going to say, Don, a young team generally a little anxious in a game such as this.
You bet. Pouzar with it in the corner, being checked there, knocked down by a high stick by Shalimov, and finally out over the blue line. Right on it, they wave. No offside on the play. Just 40 seconds to go here in this first period. The Oilers and Anderson's goal leading 1-0. And the Oilers looking very, very strong in the second half of this first period against the national team of the Soviet Union. One more attempt for the Soviets now with 20 seconds to go as they work it down across the blue line right side. Sergei Kapustin circles the net. Works it over on the left boards, being watched there, does not make a good play. Pouzar gets it out at center ice. Now Jackson across the blue line, leaves it there. A shot blocked by Michigan from the point by Pouzar, and that is going to do it for the first period of the first of 6 games between the National Hockey League and the Soviet Union. Glenn Anderson at 10:28 with the only goal set up by Messier and Gregg to give Edmonton the edge they enjoy after 20 minutes of action here at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton.
A lot of good opportunities in the period, Don. And Joey, I have to think, too, of Gretzky's play to Semenko. Semenko went all alone. He missed the top corner of the net.
They certainly had their chances beyond the one goal they got. And you're watching the NHL Soviet Series 83.
High up on the boards, looking for a breakaway. It doesn't come that often.
Larionov wins the draw for the Soviets to begin the second period. Alexei Kasatonov at his own blue line, having difficulties. The puck rolls in there. Now it is set ahead for Vladimir Krutov. He was checked as the Oilers missed their opportunities as well. Kasatonov shoots it down. The puck deflected to the doorstep of Andy Moog. Very steady. Made some outstanding saves. Not as many as Michigan had to handle, however, in the first period for the Soviets. For the Soviets, here is Krutov coming in. He was headed off nicely on that side as he tried to make his play. Oilers trying to break as quickly as the Soviets have done. Get it to the blue line, but no further as the USSR dumps it back into the Edmonton zone. Here is Maltsev in behind the goal, being bumped right in front. Did not get a good shot, had just one hand on the stick. Play a little disorganized here in the early seconds of period number 2. Now Maltsev for the Soviets bumped on the boards. Tries to leave it for Krutov. In behind the Edmonton goal, it's set out to Gretzky. He missed a couple of glorious scoring chances back in that first period, one by the side of the net. Shalimov for the Soviets, a crossover Kapustin stick. Back for Fetisov. He was stick checked. Gretzky pokes it all the way back to center ice. Sergei Kapustin closing in, right side, swings it in front, and down went number 21, Shepelev, getting only 1/10 of the puck on his stick. Comes across to the Soviet zone again. Semenko lost the race for it there. Shalimov passed it across, and he's shot in by Kasatonov offside for a face-off, which they'll bring back to the center ice area.
Shalimov, see, age 31. And a couple of good. He had one particularly good opportunity in the first period that Andy Moog robbed him of. Went in on the right-hand side, got the shot away, and Moog stopped him, as he has all of the Soviet shots to this point.
Shalimov, it is 52nd international game tonight here in Edmonton. Oilers leading at 1-0. Anderson's first period goal of the midway mark, 10:28. But it may well have easily been 2 or 3. Here is Gretzky now in his own zone, dropping it back as they try to organize. Good forechecking by the Russians. Vasiliev on top of the play. Gretzky contained at the Soviet line. The Russians clear it back inside the Edmonton blue line. Again, disorganized early second period play. Huddy got it across. Curry chasing it down into the corner against Perbukin. Now Vasiliev on the left boards for the Soviets. Starts out slowly. Over to Bykov. He was checked inside the line. Semenko sent flying, but cleared the puck down the ice. Number 29, Kochevenikov, who missed on the breakaway against Moog earlier in that period. Delayed call now against the Edmonton Oilers. Soviets pull their goalie, Mishkin, sent a sixth man on the ice, and finally the penalty call is made. You're watching the NHL Soviet Series 83.
Dave Semenko draws an elbowing penalty in the center ice area. First penalty of the second period. Right here, you see the elbow come up. Andy Van Helleman standing right behind him could not miss the attempted elbow anyway of Dave Semenko. Second power play now by the Soviet Union.
And the face-off won by Igor Larionov into the corner. Left there, Soviets pick it up. Quick shot wide of the goal by number 9, Vladimir Krutov. An errant pass hops all the way back to center ice. Now this is Vyacheslav Fetisov. The veteran defenseman almost giving it away there. Recovering was Krutov coming across the line. His drop pass picked up by number 16, Pat Hughes for the Oilers, and he clears it back the length of the ice. No scoring in this period so far. Anderson's goal, the only tally of the night. In the first period, 1-0. Oilers lead the Soviet Union. Here's Dave Hunter. And they whistle that down at the Soviet blue line. And Randy Gregg, who got those 4 shots, pretty good for a defenseman. There's a story on him in his first season here in the National Hockey League.
Played 4 years for the University of Alberta, the Golden Bears. His long reach, a big asset to the way he plays. Very difficult to get around. Been the best defenseman so far for the Edmonton Oilers.
I definitely agree with you there. He certainly made a fine play there on one-on-one against the Soviets.
Shepelev sends it ahead off the face-off and then carries on with it inside the Edmonton blue line. Backhands it beside Moog, left behind the goal. Still in behind the Edmonton goal, and Charlie Huddy succeeds in getting it down the ice this time. But the Soviets certainly having no field day against the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Now they get a good break. Coming across the line is Shalimov. The pass, the shot blocked by Moog. The drive from Sergei Shepelev, number 21.
It's only the second shot the Soviet Union have had here in the second period. So far, Edmonton hasn't had one. Let's take a look at the shot as he turns, finds himself right in front of the net. Number 21, Sergei Shepelev, plays with the Spartak team.
The Labatt's Player of the Game Awards will go to the outstanding player on each team as selected by our television broadcast team, and they'll each receive a Panasonic Wave mini stereo cassette player. There is Sergei Kapustin getting it back for Babinov. Babinov's shot is blocked at the side. Kapustin again, number 8 with it. You see the Soviets with their power play take a lot more time. Oilers looked a bit over anxious with theirs back in the first period. Into the slot. And the relay hit into the crowd by Babinov, who will face it off outside the Oiler blue line.
Something about the power play of the Soviet Union. They do not move physically. They move the puck well, but they do not skate. For penalty killers in a situation like that, Don, it's much easier for the penalty killers to work against the power play when the power play is standing still, just moving the puck.
I would think so. The Soviets show their real speed when at full strength. They try to engineer those center ice breaks, sending 2-on-1 if they can get it. They have had little success tonight except for one breakaway attempt that Moog was equal to. That was a 1-on-1. Kapustin leaves it for Babinov in front of the Soviet goal. And now he sends Shepelov across the Edmonton blue line as he digs it down in behind. Bumping for it there. Huddy going down on top of the puck. The Soviets coming up with it. Back on the point for Babinov. His shot a mile wide. And Semenko deflects it ahead for Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky waiting for help. Relays it across to Curry. But it hops back to center ice. Kapustin jammed off into the corner by a falling defender, Charlie Hiddy. And then Gretzky came in and shot it down the ice. So the Oilers withstood that shortage of manpower quite nicely. Still have their 1-0 lead. And now here's a chance. Breaking wide at the goal. A great chance for the Oilers with their 1-0 lead. That was Mark Messier just missing it. Another chance to come in once again. A shot, block, rebound for number 9, Anderson. Messier with 2 scoring attempts. Gretzky has it in there. He's taken down. The Soviet player drops the stick. No penalty is called on the play. Babinov for Vasiliev. Passes to an open left side. In front, here's the shot. Anderson, and Michigan stuck his leg out. Anderson couldn't complete the play. Almost a second goal for Glenn Anderson right there. Soviets looking a little harried at times, and the Oilers take the pressure to them. Oilers a bit unlucky in not finishing those plays into goal. Offside, Messier carrying it in on the right side, so with 13:18 to play in period 2, they'll have a face-off. And you're watching the NHL Soviet Series 83.
Wayne Gretzky takes a little bit of a dive. Andy Van Hellemond did not go for it, did not call any penalty.
Give him 3.1 for that dive, maybe?
That's about all.
Degree of difficulty, not too hard. About 7 minutes gone here in this second period. 1-0 Oilers. And they certainly have looked impressive against the Soviet Union. We said before, the Oilers on the play deserve a much larger lead than they have. Here is Lumley, but it's called on the offside.
It could come back to haunt them, Joe Watson. The good opportunities that the Edmonton Oilers are giving up at this time in the hockey game.
Well, especially there we have Dave Lumley there from Toronto, Ontario, the right winger, and he's a very physical player, and he's played well for the Edmonton team the last few years, given the opportunity to play.
He was Montreal's 17th pick back in 1974. Played at the University of New Hampshire.
Larionov again wins the draw. An impressive Soviet centerman he is to Maltsev, the veteran. Maltsev cuts right in front of the goal. Left it there. Oilers' Lindsman picks it up, and they bring it out of harm's way. Here is Lindsman across the Soviet blue line, drifting it in, but it's shot quickly out again by the USSR. They jam it there for a face-off near the Edmonton bench. Mitten, the linesman, caught in the middle of all that. This is the Soviet NHL Series 83. Larionov wins another face-off from Lindsman. Has it back to Fetisov, number 2 for the Soviets. They regroup again with Maltsev, playing it over on the right side. Now back this way for number 7 for the Soviets, Kasatonov, and that shot in offside at the Edmonton blue line. 12:14 to play in the period. 1-0 for Edmonton.
Kenny Lindsman stirs things up, holds off number 11 of the Soviet Union, Igor Larionov. Gives him a little extra something to think about. Only 4 shots so far here in the second period. 12:14 remaining.
Another matchup. They've been going at it all night, and now they do make a change as Larionov is chased out of there by the linesman. And Vladimir Krutov takes over and shoots it down inside the Edmonton blue line. Kevin Lowe cross to Hughes. Now back to Lowe again. Not out. Intercepted there. Soviets getting a chance. Oilers scrambling to cover, and they do get it back to center. Fetisov has to recover in there. Almost a break for the Oilers. With number 12, Dave Hunter, cruising in. Huddy from center shoots it high and hard, and Michigan gloves it easily. A lot of long passes up and down the ice. Here is Huddy now playing it ahead. No Oiler in position. For the Soviets, Maltsev takes over. With Krutov back to Fetisov. He shoots wide. Gretzky digs it out. Oilers bring it back. They're 3-on-2 now as they hit the Soviet blue line. Here is Fomenko giving it up to Larionov, and the Soviets now have a chance, but it sails too far as Charlie Huddy is there to cover up. Around for Dave Fomenko. Gretzky tips it, leaves it there for Curry. Now Curry inside the blue line with Fomenko. Trying to feed it, was taken down on the play. There'll be a penalty called against the Soviets, and it'll go into force right now. Soviet penalty. We'll remind you, you're watching the NHL Soviet Series 83.
This is the arcade experience. We're ColecoVision, and we bring the arcade experience home. With arcade graphics like Donkey Kong with multiple screens, just like the arcade game. Arcade controls, joystick, fire, and jump buttons. Arcade games like Turbo, Cosmic Avenger, Venture with 15 screens. And Zaxxon, games that let you have the arcade experience. Now you can bring the arcade experience home. Because your vision is our vision. ColecoVision.
Gary Curry in pursuit of the puck. And you see number 7. Alexei Kasatonov. Pull him down, gets a tripping penalty right there. No question about it. So the Edmonton Oilers.
What really made that play there was the second and third effort by Curry, and he forced the Soviet player to take him down.
So again, the Oiler power play will go into action here. With a 1-goal lead as we approach the midway part of the second period, the midway part of the hockey game. Soviets clearing it back inside the Edmonton zone. Here's Paul Coffey coming up with it. Coffey swings across the ice to the right side for Anderson. Anderson has it inside the blue line. Works it down to the corner. Coffey bringing it back out to the point. From Messier back to Coffey. Gretzky could not connect on the relay by the side of the goal. Glenn Anderson takes a funny bounce, comes out of the Soviet stick, and they finally clear it down the ice. Soviets changing on the go now. Still a minute to go, and the power play advantage for the Oilers. Anderson leaves it for Gretzky. Gretzky getting set, can't get a backhand shot away. Fades off to the boards. Now fakes the shot, lets it go.
Wayne Gretzky finds the mark, the lower left-hand corner on a fine shot. His teammates screening in front of Mishkin, the goaltender. Here's Gretzky. Watch the magician with the feet, the stick, the head up. Waits, moves in, takes a good look, lets go with the shot. Look at in front of the net. There it is in the lower left-hand corner. Glenn Anderson, watch him in front of Mishkin as he screens Mishkin, trying to get out of the way of the shot. There it is, and it's in 2-0 Edmonton.
Yes. Well, that's the patience we talked about earlier on the power play that did pay off for the Oilers that time, as Gretzky took all the time he had and made the puck look as though it had eyes going in there. Oilers with the play inside the Soviet zone once again. Pouzar cannot contain it there, and it's back at center ice for Lumley. Lumley brings it in. 2-0 Edmonton now. To Laurie Boschman. Boschman jams it at the goal post. Off into the boards once again. Soviets looking a little hairy now in their own zone, under considerable pressure from this Edmonton team. Playing well here at home. Here's Jackson's slap shot wide. Gregg fires it in behind the net for Lumley. Jackson again keeping it in for the Oilers. Lumley batting it down. Soviet player moving in, leaves it in front. And the shot by Bошмен blocked by the Soviet defense, but still inside that blue line. Gregg turns and wheels. It's blocked by number 14, Bilялетдинов. Finally, the Soviets get some breathing room. Play is whistled down. There'll be a face-off at the blue line inside of the Oilers. We lead 2-0. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment.
Wayne Gretzky scores the goal. Look it in front as Anderson tries to get out of the way, doing a double job. Screening Mishkin.
So Anderson and Gretzky have scored for the Oilers. Messier has 2 assists, Anderson a goal and 1 assist. That last goal, Gretzky from Messier and Anderson at 10:24. And the Oilers lead 2-0 over the Soviet Union. Here's Havshai now losing it at the Soviet blue line. This is Kojevnikov waiting in front for the pass. They still have control. The shot by number 26, Skvortsov, is blocked, and Havshai brings it out for Edmonton to Anderson. Anderson is impressive as any Oiler on the ice tonight. Caught by Michigan as it drifts down on his doorstep, and there'll be a face-off in the Soviet zone with 7:45 to play in the period. Victor Zubkov, 66 international games, a 28-year-old, and by the Soviet standards, getting a little bit long in the tooth, but not as long as Maltsev, certainly, who's 33.
6'2", 209 pounds. Veteran Victor Zubkov.
I believe that's the player that Lou Nanny's always talked a lot very highly about. He'd certainly like to get him in Minnesota, from what I understand.
You've got it right there.
Well, maybe not quite old enough to have a chance of being released to play. There's a lot of talk about the Soviets letting players become available as time goes on. Loose puck. Almost a gift scoring opportunity right there for Hughes of the Edmonton Oilers. Paul Coffey now swings around behind his goal. Confidently works it ahead. Lindstrom took it over center ice. 2 lines. They'll bring it back for a face-off inside the Edmonton blue line.
Take a close-up look at the coach and general manager, Glenn Sather. Has to feel and breathe a little easier with his team now in front, 2-0. Mixed emotions, I suppose. He wouldn't game like this. Although it has not been hard hitting, the fear of coaches and general managers always that a player might be injured.
7 minutes and 27 seconds to play in the second period. 2-0 Oilers leading the Soviets. This time the draw is won by Lindstrom against Larionov, and it's left right there. Moog has to clear it himself. Soviets keep it in. Babinov over to the far right board. Maltsev knocked off the puck smartly by Don Jackson. It is Jackson ahead to Hughes. A weak shot by Hughes rolls in near Michigan. And a punching check thrown on Gamayev in behind the Soviet goal by Hughes. Larionov cannot control the puck. Oilers shoot it across the ice. Play again a little bit ragged now in the center ice area. Babinov bumped by Lindstrom. Maltsev takes a check from Dave Hunter. Here's a chance. Shot wide from the left point. It comes all the way around. That shot by Jackson off target. Less than 6.5 minutes to play in period 2. Oilers leading 2-0. Goals by Anderson and Gretzky, and that is called the offside. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment. Viktor Tikhonov, the Soviet Union head hockey coach, has his team in a 2-goal deficit situation right now. 6:20 to play in the second period. Huddy blasts it in high and wide of the Soviet goal. Sergei Kapustin fails to clear against Curry. Gretzky circles the goal, still has it. Tries to dump it across the slot. Here's a break. Kapustin Streaking down on a breakaway. Huddy trying to contain him. He scores! Soviet's first goal on a breakaway by Sergei Kapustin.
Boy, did he ever take off there. Holy mackerel.
The Edmonton Oilers make a mistake, and the Soviet Union capitalize as number 8, Sergei Kapustin, breaks away. Charlie Huddy, 22 in pursuit. Gretzky is to the right, also behind him, pulls the puck to the forehand, and in behind Andy Moog with a quick wrist shot to score 2-1.
Now for the Soviets, Gerasimov into the corner, comes to the cross in front. Soviets getting a new lease on life now. The backhand shot by Gerasimov is blocked by Moog, and the Oilers bring it back. So Kapustin gets the goal, the 14-minute mark, to give the Russians new life, and in they come once again. Loose puck there, bouncing in front of Moog, picked up by Gretzky. Bykov made the play for the Soviets. Now Gretzky works his way free to center ice. Against Kazatanov on the far side, giving him lots of room. Now he leads the puck right there to the Soviet Union. 2-1, the Oilers. And the Soviet player, Kapustin, looked like a drag racing car leaving its mark as he streaked down on Moog. Moog will have to handle this long shot. Gary Lariviere quickly ahead to center ice for the Oilers. Jamming on the boards is Anderson. For Halfshide in behind the goal. Digs it out in front. Nobody home for the white jerseys. The Soviets bring it back. Skvortsov leaves it. The shot partially blocked by Lariviere. Skvortsov again in behind, shot wide of the goal. Here's Fetisov getting it free. Another slap shot is wide, and Moog on the rebound gloves it. Number 12, Gimаев, had a wide open shot, but missed it. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment.
More pressure by the Soviet Union. Number 12, Gimаев, lets go from the blue line, wide of the net. Good camera shot from right behind Andy Moog. And the puck come right back out. Moog grabbed it, stopped the play. That's where we're at. Back to live action.
On the face-off, it is Lutkov for the Soviet Union. Down by a goal now. He and Messier skate away. 4:20 to play in the second period. 2-1 Oilers. Messier wins that face-off smartly. At the Soviet line. Drops it back for Halfshide. Can't get a shot away. Babinov clears beside his own goal. Halfshide hustling back there now, falling. Lost control. Babinov. Ahead is Lutkov. Back for number 4, Sergei Babinov, and Babinov relays it right down beside the Edmonton goal once again. Randy Gregg works it up the boards, kept in by the Soviets, gloved by Moog, dropped quickly right there. The Russians getting new life from that breakaway goal by Kapustin, now just down by 1. Gimаев's shot is again wide. Rolling all the way back into Soviet territory, less than 3.5 minutes to play in this second period. Babinov is checked from behind. But the Oilers not as dominant now as they had been earlier. Kochevenikov is tied up on the board. Pervukin comes in to give him some help. This is Jackson for the Oilers. Maltsev. Larianov. Now Pouzar. Still inside for Pervukin. Lets his shot go. Stick save by Moog. Pouzar clears it out over the blue line for the Oilers. 2 minutes and 39 seconds to play now in period 2. And the Soviets gaining momentum as the period wears down. Here's Maltsev over the line. Dropping it back. Can't get a second chance. Pouzar coming up with it. And he's turned around by Maltsev. Grabs hold of the Soviet player, trying to freeze the puck. Bosman can't get it out of there. Flat shot from Pervukin is handled easily by Andy Moog. But the Soviets containing the Oilers seconds on edge. Here's Lumley being bumped. He's off the puck. It's back to center. Oh, Coffey closing in. His weak shot hit the chest of Michigan. Comes free. Larionov now gets it. Back at center ice. Moog coming out to cut down the angle. Larionov stopping. Still has it. Shoots quickly. Rebound. Still loose in front and covering up his goal.
Good opportunity for the Soviet Union as Andy Moog ends up with the puck. They've been putting pressure on. Let's look at some of the pressure. Soviet Union in Edmonton's end of the ice. Larionov takes the shot. Stopped by Moog. There's the rebound as number 9, Krutov, tries to knock it home unsuccessfully. Soviet Union getting opportunities they didn't get earlier.
16 saves by Andy Moog now. And he's had to make some tough ones the last couple of minutes as the Soviets have come on with a vengeance. Having gotten back into the game at 2-1, they trail. 1:44 remaining in the period. Shepelev waiting for the face-off against Lindsdmän.
Not a good time to give up territorial edge to the Soviet Union. They'd love to go into the dressing room all even.
Remember the big goal the United States Olympic team scored? Mark Johnson just before the end of the period turned that game around. That shot deflected back into the crowd by Andy Moog. So a late goal here either way could indeed be very, very significant. Dave Hunter from Petrolia, Ontario, oil country, just 24, but in his 4th season with the National Hockey League here with the Edmonton Oilers.
Originally a Montreal Canadian.
A minute 33 to go in the period. Shepelev leaves it there. Kevin Lowe failed to clear. Kapustin, he had his shot blocked by a sliding Lariviere. From the point, Fettisov, booming drive, sails wide. And now here is Hughes at center ice. Across the blue line, in behind Lindsdmän. Fettisov for the Soviets. Brings it back inside the Edmonton line. Just over a minute to play in period 2. And they'll jam it there for a face-off in Oiler territory.
The Soviet Union pressing again. Edmonton allowing them the room to move inside the blue line. They take advantage. Some of the opportunities of the Soviet Union they have not capitalized on here in the later stages of the second period.
You think back earlier how Gretzky right now and the Oilers would like that goalpost shot back and that tap-in opportunity by the side of the goal that he had. Other great scoring chances they have failed to capitalize on. Their lead now just a goal. 58 seconds to play in period number 2. Babinov for Vasiliev. Relayed down, a bouncing shot blocked by Andy Moog. Moog very steady, just beaten by the one drive by Kapustin that came in a breakaway. He's also stopped a breakaway for the Soviets tonight. Russians trying to accelerate the pace of the game inside the blue line with just 28 seconds left. Curry for Messier. Back over on the left point. Kept in by Curry down to the corner. Gretzky digs it out. Shot by Randy Gregg into the corner. Right out in front. Nobody there. Curry not able to put his stick on the puck. Number 27 for the Soviets is Vyacheslav Leaves it there. The shot by Gerasimov is blocked by Andy Moog with just 2 seconds to play. Reminder that on Thursday night we'll be in the Coliseum in Quebec City, the Nordiques and the Soviets. Then the next night, New Year's Eve, in Montreal for the Montreal Canadiens and the Soviet team in game number 3. And, of course, after this game, the Labatt's players of the game, one each side, will be determined by our broadcast crew.
Now one has to think, Don, a little bit about the 22 players that the Soviet Union has been able to dress going into the third period. 2 seconds left here in this one, but now is a time when it could be helpful.
That'll take care of the second period indeed, and we'll watch for that because the Soviets always seem to have more legs than anybody else in the third period. Those two extra bodies could indeed be a big factor in their favor. So a goal apiece in this period. Gretzky giving the Oilers a 2-0 lead at 10:24, and then Sergei Kapustin on that lightning-like breakaway over the blue line at 14 minutes, beating Moog, and it's a 2-1 hockey game after 40 minutes of international action here at the Northlands Coliseum. This is the NHL Soviet Series 83. They come to center ice. Lindsmän on the draw. He's had quite a battle. He's lost many of those face-offs to Larionov. The puck is behind the Edmonton net for Jackson. Jackson getting it up to Dave Hunter. He snaps it down into the Soviet zone. Over on the boards, nobody out in front for that fast relay coming out. Oilers coming out with hustle, looking as though they want to extend that lead. They saw the momentum that Kapustin's goal gave the Soviets the final 6 minutes of that second period. After the Oilers had dominated almost completely. Down on a trip by Larionov goes an Edmonton player. No penalty called, play going right on. In the corner, shot up the boards, and finally to center ice for Larionov again. He is all over the ice for the Soviet Union. Brings it across the red line. Larionov closing right in, dumps it in front, the relay. Maltsev did not get much on that. Handled by Andy Moog. Wide open play right now. Remember, just a one-goal lead for the Oilers. The Soviets tend to have very strong third periods as a rule. Here's Gretzky breaking on against Kapustin. Being forced onto the right side. Gretzky works his way free. Fans calling for a penalty. None is forthcoming. And the Soviets break on. It is 2-on-2. Kapustin's shot is blocked. Drifts wide. Moog will cover up and force a face-off. The fans thought Gretzky had been interfered with, but Helleman saw it differently. This is the NHL Soviet Series 83.
Wayne Gretzky, as he gets older, he gets stronger. Kapustin, number 8. Look at Gretzky, fight him off. Good job. No call by Van Helleman. Pretty close. He's probably going to let the players play the game here in the third period. Not call everything in sight. Only 4 penalties so far in the hockey game.
Certainly earlier that might well have been called. But it is the third period, 2-1. The Oilers with that one-goal advantage over the Soviets. Paul Coffey with it now. Across the ice. Relay into the center ice area, intercepted by number 21, Sergei Shepelev. Ahead to Kapustin. Kapustin's shot is called on the offside at the Edmonton blue line. They'll bring it back to center ice. There's the story on Shepelev, a 27-year-old, yet he's only played in 18 of the Soviet national team games. And this is certainly the Soviet national squad, the best they could muster here. Although they have a couple of top players back home with injury, and a couple because they have not been playing too well. Maybe exhibition games, but it's serious business for the Soviets. In front, a chance to tie it. Here's the shot blocked as Moog was down, and number 22, Charlie Huddy, was there to fill that hole in the net as the Soviets almost tied it up right there. Curry flips it ahead down the ice. Into the third minute of this third period, 2-1 for Edmonton. A break for Lumley, a shot and a fine save by Mishkin.
Close call. Edmonton, who have been sagging as of late, get an opportunity. A mistake by the Soviets. And Lumley capitalizes. Here the Soviets coming out to check. Good offensive, or good forechecking, excuse me. Lumley takes the shot. It's a little high. Mishkin making the save easily on the high shot by Lumley.
So with a few breaks here or there, and nonetheless not to detract from Mishkin's work, the Soviets really have not missed Tretiak in this game. There's Messier shooting it wide into the Soviet corner for Glenn Anderson. He was skated off the puck. Now the Soviets break out of there. Coming up to the center ice area. They bring it in. Slap shot stopped by Bykov, was weak, and Moog covers up very easily.
Andy Moog is not going to make the mistake of leaving a loose puck around the net. Take a look at Kevin Lowe from Hawkesbury, Ontario. Oilers' first pick, 21st overall in the 71 amateur draft.
Kevin Lowe has certainly come into his own the last few years. He's certainly a fine defensive type defenseman. He adds a lot of offense to the team, and he's certainly an all-around fine player for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oilers missing one of their veteran defensemen, Fettisov-Kasatonov, tonight. He has had what they think is the flu for a couple of weeks. He's lost 10 or 11 pounds, and the Oilers getting quite concerned about the ongoing illness of Fettisov-Kasatonov. The flu bug certainly has swept this part of the country. There was Anderson flicking it ahead to the center ice area. Now the Soviet blue line for Babinov. Anderson has to wait. He's got players trapped offside. It comes down the ice beside Moe. 3 minutes gone in period 3. 2-1 for Edmonton. Game 1 of the NHL Soviet Series 83. Gerasimov for the Soviet Union. Break wide over the stick of Vasiliev. Up to center ice. Play again. A little ragged at this stage. Given away to Messier. Messier, as they call the offside right there. Close call at the Soviet blue line. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment. UCLA Bruins take on the Michigan Wolverines. The all-time classic bowl game, the Rose Bowl. New Year's Day, 4:30 Eastern Time on CTV. Soviets break quickly once again. The shot just wide. Mold way out of position there, and the drive from Skvortsov. Larry Boschman shoots it down to the Soviet zone. Goes in after it. Icing call against the Edmonton Oilers. They'll bring it all the way back. Boschman, a former Toronto Maple Leaf, filling in nicely here with the Edmonton Oilers, as so many Leafs tend to do when they leave Toronto around the NHL. How's Darryl Sittler making out, Joe?
Tremendous. Darryl Sittler's really added a lot to the Philadelphia Flyers. On the ice, well, off the ice. Very classy. Scored a lot of big goals for the Flyers this year. Certainly a pleasure to have her in the dressing room.
We'll be seeing Sittler and the Flyers January 6th in the wind-up game of the 6-game Soviet NHL Series, the Philadelphia Spectrum. Boschman won the face-off. Back to Mold. This is Jackson trying to make his play. Cross to Gregg. Gregg does not clear. Soviets keeping it in. Boschman gets a chance. He can't get it out of there. Then Helleman's all tied up in the middle. Now Boschman again overskates the puck. Under some pressure from the Soviet player. Lumley threw a good check in the Soviet zone. It is shot down the ice, and they'll face it off outside the Soviet blue line. 15:42 to go in the third and final period. Reminder, the Labatt's players of the game we will be naming, and they'll be receiving awards of a Panasonic Play Mini Stereo Cassette Player. So stay with us for the Labatt's players of the game tonight. The crowd knows this one is not in the bag yet. 2-1 Oilers lead. Had chances to make it 4 or 5-1 earlier. But those chances not coming as frequently now as the Soviets traditionally play well in the closing 20 minutes of any international hockey game. This is Coffey for Hughes. Relay by Hughes just inside the blue line. Lindsdmän can't relay it down there. Here is Maltsev breaking through, tied up nicely. Good coverage by Charlie Huddy, and now Coffey coming back with it for the Oilers. Inside the blue line, it is called to the offside. This is the NHL Soviet Series 83. Edmonton Oilers, one half of a city of winners here. The other half, the 5-time Grey Cup champion Edmonton Eskimos. In fact, the city has a new AAA baseball team, the California Angels farm team, ready to play in the spring of 83. One of the best sports towns in the country, Edmonton, Alberta. Huddy for the Oilers. Breaking up the right side, could not get around Pervukin. And again, play is whistled down. The puck in among the spectators with just about 5 minutes gone now in the third period.
Take a close look at Charlie Huddy. One of the reasons that the Edmonton Oilers have only allowed the Soviet Union 1 goal. Good defensive work. He teamed up well with Coffey a moment ago to stop a rush by the Soviets.
Anderson and Gretzky have scored for Edmonton. Kapustin for the Soviet Union. The Oilers have never been behind, but fight now to hold this slender one-goal lead. And Coffey did a good job right there, getting back against number 9, Krutov. Here's a shot blocked from the stick of Dave Hunter. Hunter in behind the goal, dumping it in front. Nicely blocked for the Soviet defense, and smartly they send away Krutov at center ice. He dropped it back too far. Lindstrom now trying to feed Hunter. Can't get the puck to him. Maltsev. Right side for Krutov. His shot away wide off the glass. Shot down the ice. They will indicate icing now as the puck will be touched for the Soviet skater Kasatonov. Face off again. Back in the Edmonton zone beside Moe. NHL Soviet Series 83 will continue in just a moment. A goal apart and less than 15 minutes to play. 14:27 left now, the third period. Important face-off right here in the Edmonton zone. Shepelev on the draw against Messier. Messier wins it. Low against Shepelev. He wants to freeze it there. One more face-off, and he gets it.
Indication, Don, as the close checking prevails, as it did in good part of the second period. Soviets have had 4 shots here in the third period, and the Edmonton Oilers have had but 1.
Now Messier is banished by the linesman. Bring on number 99, Wayne Gretzky. He wins it easily to Lowe. Good board coverage by the Soviets contains the Oilers, but now Gretzky has it in center ice. Pervukin, Kапustin. Too far at center ice. Lariviere with it for Gretzky. Gretzky passing behind Semenko. Lowe driving it down to the Soviet corner. In behind. Pervukin works it up the right side. Shepelev across to Shalimo. Shalimo shot handled by Moe. Fine hard drive, and Moe reacted beautifully.
It seems like the Soviets are just starting to take the play over here now. I don't think Edmonton can keep the pace up that the Soviets are displaying out there.
We see Wayne Gretzky shoot it in. The end result, Shepelev right there as he tries to use the defense as a screen, lets the shot go. Andy Moog hangs on.
22 saves now for Moog, as in terms of shots on goal and territorial play, the Russians draw closer and closer. 13:42 remaining. Bashman, he wins the face-off. So the Oilers have a decided edge in that department tonight, except for Larionov, the Soviet center, who's won the majority of his from Lindstrom. Now here is Gretzky trying to set up Curry. Back to the stick of Gretzky. On the point for Randy Gregg. Gregg couldn't get a strong enough shot away, and the Soviets come back. Good lead pass. Closing in, they score. Number 29, Alexander Kochevenkov. And it's a 2-2 hockey game.
Kochevenkov gets in behind the Oiler defense and finishes off the play. They break quickly. Kochevenkov right there as he gets in behind Randy Gregg and blasts a hard slap shot to the right of Andy Moog. And they've tied the score at 2 apiece as we look again. Kochevenkov, quick release in the net behind Moog. And it's 2-2, and the shots are now 24 apiece.
And the pendulum begins to swing the other way. Oilers under pressure now to get this lead back. They have controlled the score and the game to this point. Now the Soviets have pulled even. The goal by Alexander Kochevenkov near the 7-minute mark of this third and final period. Coffey cannot control a bouncing puck. Soviets coming away at center ice once again. Krutov skated off on the right board. Hunter getting it ahead. Hughes over the blue line. Has Coffey with him. Dumps it in front. Coffey gone too far. The grasp of the Soviet player. Lindstrom right in front of the goal. Bouncing puck. Couldn't get a stick on it. Over Lindstron's stick to the right point for Huddy. Now Lindstrom again. Digs it in front for Hughes. Couldn't get the pass to him. Soviets coming out down. A 2-2 tie. Maltsev taken down by Hunter. As it's on up, across the left side. Fetisov shot high and hard off the glass behind Moe. Mark Messier streaking away on the right side. Cutting inside of the corner, dumping it out. Good block made by number 14, Bilялетdinov. Here comes the Soviet team again. The speedy Kapustin digs it over on the right side. Shalimov had it poked off his stick just in time. Shalimov in the corner against Lowe. Trying to freeze him there and get a face-off. It is kicked free. Larivier. Right side for Anderson. Rink wide for Messier. Messier closing it. Oh! Oilers regain the lead.
Mark Messier, who had a chance earlier, slips it in the short side. Here he comes from a bad angle. He has no options. He lets it go from a bad angle and hit goaltender Mishkin and deflected into the net. Let's look again at the shot right there.
As you can see, Mushkin never had his pad there again right against the post, and consequently it just happened to go in there.
Take a look, as Joe Watson described.
He comes around here, he doesn't have his pad right against the post, as you can see, and it just barely slips in there.
He left about the width of a puck, and that's all Messier had for his third point tonight. Gives Edmonton a 3-2 lead now. 11 minutes to play in the game. Interception by the Soviets at the Oiler blue line. Jackson, good defensive coverage. Cemento bumped from behind, but got it back to center ice. Messier from Anderson and Larivier at 8:35 has given the Oilers the lead back at 3-2. Timonev now closing in. Jackson there to intercept. Right side, Cemento, left wing back. Gretzky winding Michigan. He felt all the force of that blast from Wayne Gretzky. Behind the goal, Gretzky in a pileup digs it back to an open spot. The Soviets coming up with it. Alexander Skvortsov skated on. Here's a break for Gretzky. Alone, takes it, shoots it. It's still loose. Let a soft shot go that Michigan couldn't find for a moment. The tired Gretzky skates to the Oiler bench. Kojuvenikov with Maltsev. Maltsev lost the puck to Huddy. Right wing. Babinoff rides him off in behind. They maintain possession with Rory Boschman. Boschman back. Pouzar. Soviet player down on the play. An open wing, and the Soviets dig it free with Alexander Maltsev. Against Coffey, he skated on. Boschman. Too far for Lumley. Icing called against the Oilers with 9:17 to play. And you are watching the NHL Soviet Series 83. A little over 9 minutes to play, and a very important goal scored a while ago by Messier has given new life to the Edmonton Oilers, who were sagging.
Let's look again. Mark Messier, as he crosses the blue line with good speed, gains control of the puck, and right along the ice, you can see the puck in behind goaltender Mishkin off his right skate, deflecting into the net.
Good tip for minor hockey goalies. Make sure your pad is right tight against that post.
And
you got a sharpshooter like Messier, it'll be behind you. Shot from the point by Fetisov, drips wide, and the Oilers shoot it back down near the Soviet blue line. Lindsdmän taking it away from Maltsev for Hughes. Fetisov lets it roll to his goalie, Michigan. He's down to cover up. 9:01 remaining.
Well, the play has certainly opened up tremendously in the last few minutes here. Here we have Pat Hughes. Originally, I think, belonged to the Montreal Canadiens and the Pittsburgh Penguins, and now is with Edmonton Oilers and doing a good job. I believe that Glenn Sater uses him in a checking role.
Came here for Pat Price. March of 1981, right at the trade deadline.
Lindsdmän wins the draw. It's back to Kevin Lowe. Now in trouble against two Soviets. Finally clears it down to the corner for Lindsdmän. Getting it out for Hunter. He was blocked. Hughes will try the other side. Back to Lindsdmän. In front. Hunter can't get a stick on it. He's lost control of it against the Soviet player. There's going to be a penalty now called by referee Andy Van Helleman.
Number 7, Kasatonov, is going to the penalty box.
He tied the Oiler up in knots in front of that net. And this is NHL Soviet Series 83. Kasatonov had Hunter all tied up in front of that goal. He could not make a play, and he got caught for holding.
Left hand on Hunter's stick. You could clearly see he had a good grip on it, not allowing Hunter to make the play as the Edmonton Oilers put pressure on the Soviets.
That's probably one of the few times you've seen an Edmonton Oiler tied up in front of the net by the Russians.
Here's Gretzky. Over to the right point now. Drops it there, fed back for Messier. Messier with the Oiler third goal a moment or two ago. Has it bounce off his stick in the corner. Drives it around for Paul Coffey. Coffey bumped by Kapustin. Makes his pass. Held in by Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky quickly flipping it to Messier. Now out of the point again for Coffey. Gretzky, Anderson. They can't poke it home. Coffey shot, rolling, kicked in, it's goal, 2 Oilers. Gretzky gets his second goal.
The Edmonton Oilers take advantage of the power play situation. Kasatonov holding penalty, an expensive one to the Soviets. There's Coffey's shot, partially blocked. Mishkin missed it, and Wayne Gretzky slides it across the goal line. Coffey keeps the puck in. He moves in quickly and lets go a wrist shot. It's partially blocked, and Gretzky finishes the play 4-2 now for the Edmonton Oilers.
What happened in that goal there? The Russians had two forwards up here center ice waiting for the break. Consequently, they were outmanned in their zone.
Gretzky with a power play goal and a big one to give the Oilers a 2-goal lead. Coffey gets the assist, the 12-minute mark. 4-2, but here come the Soviets once again. Always dangerous is Kojevnikov. Still has it, shoots. Hold makes the stop line, his chest protected, and hangs on.
It would be a big mistake by Edmonton to allow the Soviet Union to keep coming at them. Let's take another look at Coffey's shot. Blocked in front of Mishkin by number 5, Pervukin, and Gretzky finished the playoff 4-2, 7:38. Not a very happy Viktor Tikhonov.
Who's been burned twice by Gretzky tonight. He has 2 of the 4 Oiler goals. Jackson very steady on defense for the Oilers tonight. Getting it across to number 21, Randy Gregg. Now back to Jackson. Lumley bumped on the boards, and Vladimir-Babinov comes up with it for the Soviet Union. Now this is Viktor Zlutkov at center ice, feeded off the puck by Jackson. Coming in is Gimаев. His shot blocked by Moe. Sharp angle right. Oilers taking charge more and more as this third period goes on. Sagged badly late in the second. Here's a shot gloved by Mishkin from the stick of Laurie Boschman. But when the Soviets tied it, the Oilers got the important third goal, and now that in the fourth, they lead 4-2. Lumley skates right through. Lumley finally headed off by number 4, Babinov, as he approached Mishkin. They jam it in there against the boards. Finally comes free for Lumley. Lumley's pass out blocked, and it's Alexander Kojevnikov. The left side, he comes down. Skvortsov with it. Pass failed to click. Into the corner it goes. Lariviere there to tie him up. Gretzky coming up with the puck for the Oilers. Checked smartly by Larionov. Larionov bumped by Lowe. Kojevnikov tries to jam it in, but Moe has it. minutes left. This is NHL Soviet Series 83. That's the story. 6 minutes to play. 4-2 Oilers lead. Don Chevrier with Eddie Westfall, Joe Watson, Lou Nanny, and Bertie Pascal with you for the closing minutes of this, the first of 6 games between the NHL clubs and the Soviets. Larry Anna, guy who I think might get my vote as the Labatt's player of the game for the Soviets. Won a lot of face-offs. He's been all over the ice for them. They bring it in on Moe. Backhand by Fetisov, cleared in front. Finally off to the left corner. They'll tie it up there for a face-off with 5:32 left.
Fetisov, the defenseman, one of the few times tonight he was in all the way, making a play at Andy Mold. We look at a much relieved bench of the Edmonton Oilers as the clock winds its way down. Here's Fetisov as he moves in. There's the backhand shot of beauty. Andy Mold, partially screened, make the save.
.532 left. Lindsdmän on the draw. Soviets maintain possession. Maltsev. Krutov in the corner with it. Maltsev lost possession, circling in front. And this is Dave Hunter for the puck. In behind the goal. Lindsdmän right in front for Hunter. Skated off smartly by Fetisov. Back come the Soviets. Lariana, quick drop pass and a shot by number 9, Krutov, and it's blocked again by Andy Moog. And I'll tell you, he's had to be very, very strong and has in this closing period, Moog.
Let's watch the Soviet Union as they close in. Charlie Huddy after the puck. Larinov. There's the shot by number 9, Krutov, a good one. Andy Moog holds his ground, playing his angles well in this hockey game. Andy Moog had a lot of shots.
You notice the Russians,
tough angles. Go ahead, Joe.
Seem to attack from the same side. The Russians always seem to attack the right side coming in. They really do. They favor that side a lot.
Shalimov scores. It slipped right through. Perhaps number 21, Shepelev, got his stick on it to deflect it. But a weak shot caught him off balance, and the goal is going to go to Sergei Shepelev, number 21.
Right from the face-off, 21, Shepelev gets the draw, heads for the front of the net. Charlie Huddy, number 22, sees him, but it's too late as he tips the puck between the legs of Andy Moog. Face-off, so important in your own end of the ice. There's the shot. There's the tip. As the Soviet Union get their 3rd goal and close within 1.
It's not over yet. 4:50 remaining now. A 4-3 hockey game. The Soviets simply will not quit, nor will the Oilers. Here's Messier's hard drive. Michigan felt that. Perbukin gets it over the blue line. It's cut back in again, whistled down by the linesman. So there'll be a face-off the Soviet line with 4:39 remaining now. Not a hard shot, just redirected. Right on target by Shepelev, number 21.
One of the toughest things, any goaltender will tell you, one of the toughest stops to make is a redirected shot right in front of him.
Abscheid won the draw. Anderson shot it in, but the Soviets promptly bring it back out again. Behind his own goal for Messier. Messier's figured in 3 of the 4 Oiler goals tonight. Has scored 1. Gretzky has 2. Anderson has the other. Skvortsov ridden off by Coffey smartly in behind. Anderson now with his stick on it, passing it ahead to Messier. Anderson, right wing. Shooting. Blocked by the Soviet player, Gimаев. 3 minutes and 48 seconds to go now. 4-3. Oilers lead the Soviets. Hard shot blocked by Moog from Zlutkov. Play opening up a little better now for Gretzky at center ice. Across the line, Gretzky fading off left. Hanging tough in there against the Soviet player, Kasatonov. Finally goes down. Hops over a stick out in front. The dangerous Larionov now inside the blue line. Quick shot, Maltsev, rebound, Larionov shot wide. Still inside that blue line, finally to center ice. On the stick of Curry with Gretzky, sets him up, oh, just missed it in front. Now 3 minutes to play on the hockey game. Maltsev against Jackson. Jackson kicks it free to a teammate in behind. That is Jari Kurri. Kurri digging it out to center ice. Russians, as Joe said, tend to favor their attacks on the right side. Quite often bring it in that way to the Oilers' zone. Right out again it comes. Over two lines, that pass from number 21, Randy Gregg. The faceoff will come just inside the Edmonton blue line. 2 minutes and 38 seconds to play.
It would be a big error if Edmonton tries to play the last 2.5 minutes in their own end of the ice. Look along the bench of Edmonton.
If there's one player that can skate with the Soviets, that certainly is Glenn Anderson and Mark Messier. My goodness.
Roll down to the Soviet zone. A race for it there. Lindsdmän coming in, but not in time to avoid an icing call against the Oilers with 2:28 left now. Glenn Sather knows it's not over yet, especially when you consider the Soviets traveled 19 hours from Moscow into Montreal, into Edmonton last night, are playing right now, and I guess about breakfast time back home, mid-morning in Moscow, and they still have plenty of legs left here late in this third period.
I have to go back and remind myself and the other people that 22 players were dressed for the Soviet Union through 2 periods.
Right.
For whatever reason, they decided in the third period to go to the right number.
More room on the bench, Eddie.
Getting a little tight down there. A little tight right here in this game. A 1-goal Oiler lead. Kevin Lowe on the face-off. It's relayed out to center ice. Victor Shalimov with it. Lost it. Hunter. Lindsdmän. Back for Hughes. Couldn't find it in front. Kept in by Lariviere for Hunter. Hughes skated off by Pervukin. Now on the right board, Shalimov. Left wing pass to Kapustin, shoots wide. Oilers will ice it once again with 1:51 left as they hang on to this 4-3 lead. I'd like to remind you, Game 2 coming up on Thursday night, 8 o'clock from Quebec City, the Nordiques of the Soviets.
Viktor Tikhonov looks up at the clock and sees 1:51. He has to do some fast moving. At what point does he decide to kill Vladimir Mishkin out of the net?
I would suggest in his case, from past experience, later than earlier. May not do it too quickly. Messier in the face-off, still loose in there. Weak backhand shot by Gimаев rolls wide. Oilers with a 4-3 lead. Soviets pressing. Kochevenikov shot it wide. Dumped right in front again on Huddy's stick for Messier. Minute and a half remaining. Here's Messier. Backhands it into the Soviet zone. Gimаев right in front of his own net for Babinov. Up now to Skvortsov. Left there, the shot gloved by Moog with 1:15 to play.
The last 2 important face-offs, the Edmonton Oilers in their own end of the ice have not been able to win them. One resulted in a goal. Shepelev scored. Now it gets more vital with 1:15 remaining. There's the shot, a high one. Andy Moog gets a good look at it and stops the play. Joe?
If you'll notice there, it seems like the Oilers are not sure of themselves in the last few minutes. They're backing in, and consequently the Russians are getting over there and making some good plays and getting some excellent chances. And Andy Moog has stood his ground very well.
Well, our telecast crew is going to pick the Labatt's players of the game, one each way, and I can tell you this much, whichever way it goes, and rightly so in a game like this, it'll be a split decision both ways. A lot of fine talent out there for both these teams.
The Oilers will take an official 30-second timeout.
So the Oilers are taking a timeout now to catch a breather with 1:15 remaining. huddling with their coach, Glenn Sather. Soviets are
They're over there
questioning
explaining to him.
The Soviets don't understand that that can be done.
I believe that's Aggie Kukowitz over there, who I think is responsible for bringing the Russians over on numerous occasions, explaining things to them.
Responsible largely for that, too, explaining things to them, as he is right there to the satisfaction of the Soviet captain.
An astute interpreter. There he is. Andy goes back. Andy Moog back to the cage of Penticton, BC.
Good old boys from BC. You can't beat them boys.
You keep saying that, Joe.
Soviet bench now, the officials over to relay the explanation to their officials and Coach Tikhonov.
He is a Soviet interpreter, the gentleman with the glasses. You see him talking to Andy Van Hellemond and also Viktor Tikhonov, the coach. He was very patient, as was Tikhonov, the coach, this morning when the team skated. Spent a long time talking to the press.
He's smiling. He said, I never heard of that. A timeout?
22 men, he said.
Never heard of that either. Play resumes with a minute 10 left now. Coffey, very steady all night for the Oilers. Digs it out to center ice, but it's over 2 lines. They'll bring it back for the face-off. Again, more pressure, Oilers, just inside their blue line. A minute 6 left now.
I think for the fact, Don and Joe, that we have not noticed Andy Van Hellemond, Randy Mitten, and Swede Knox. They've done a fine job of handling the game here tonight.
They certainly have. I'm just looking down here at the Russian bench right now, and I don't think the coach doesn't seem to be too worried about the goaltender, and I don't know whether he's going to pull him or what. He hasn't looked over his goaltender yet.
You know the officials aren't calling too much when you see only one swan dive all evening, and it's by Wayne Gretzky, not by a Soviet player. A minute to play now. Third and final period. Soviet break left side. Dug back for Larionov, and a super save by Moog. A drive labeled for the left corner, and Moog reached out and spared it.
Larionov, a blast, and Moog, a fine save. A quick break by the Soviets. There's the drop pass, number 11. Larionov blasts it. Andy Moog reaches far to his left to make the save. Surprised that Edmonton would allow a quick break by the Soviets at this point in the game. There's the drop. Krutov to Larionov.
Andy Moog certainly had good position in that shot.
So that timeout they call led to a lapse right there. There was almost a costly one for them. Oilers cling to a 4-3 lead. 50 seconds left. Still no motion by Tikhonov to pull his goalie Mishkin. So I said it'll happen later rather than earlier, if at all, on the Soviet team.
Lou Nanny just signaling to me that they never pull him.
Not very often, certainly. No indication it'll happen here tonight. Huddy with it. Gets it to the line, but it's held in. 32 seconds left. Soviets swarming around for the equalizer. That gets it down the ice and takes some pressure off the Oilers. 25 seconds left now. The stick of Lindsdmän. Back to the Soviet zone it goes. Mishkin won't hang on here unless he has to. Lets it go in the corner to Hughes. Now Hunter. They jam it up in there, wasting valuable time. 10 seconds to go. Soviets looking for one last break. Shoot it down the ice too far. That could be it. However, Moog will touch the puck, and that'll negate the icing. 1 second to go. It's all over. The Oilers have beaten the Soviets by a score of 4-3 here at the Northlands Coliseum.
I certainly don't understand it. I couldn't believe the Russians had the face-off in the Oilers zone the last 50 seconds. They never pulled a goalie. I guess it's their method. They don't believe in it.
It has not been a practice of theirs, certainly, nor has it been a practice to lose, as we have seen over the years, but indeed they have done that tonight. 4-3 to the Edmonton Oilers. We have more for you. A good start to this, the NHL Soviet Series 83.